Want even more Birdman content, like the unboxing of my silver play button? Follow me on pretty much all of your favorite social media sites at TheBirdman15. Links in the description below.
Thank you very much.
Those guys are dicks.
No matter how much you dress up your logos creatively, there's still 39 seconds of logos. Can't have your brains and eat them too, Sony.
This logo is specifically for P-brains such as yourself that believe having studio logos in front of a film is too much. They're getting the fact that this is a Sony Columbia movie across while at the same time entertaining you with a creative nod to the source material. I don't know anyone that went,
this is too long. 39 seconds is just too much.
and if those people do exist, they're probably in my comment section complaining about my intro.
Welcome to Zombieland. Back for seconds.
I understand that the first movie had some fun with the narration, since it had a bunch of rules to explain and some backstory to cover in an otherwise breezy film. But using it again as a crutch for this movie is totally a sin. So what I mean to say is narration.
Bullshit. First of all, the movie has to be consistent with the previous movie. You know, because it's a sequel? Next, this narration sets up a long-form joke with the Homer zombies, which absolutely killed in my theater. Also, thematically, the narration here serves to show the satirical nature of the film. What I mean to say is, CinemaSins doesn't understand satire.
In the time since we last saw you, zombies have evolved.
But we'll neglect to give you a reason why, just like we ignored the reason for the outbreak in the first place. Whatever, super zombies, nut up or shut up, city names, we're here to play the hits, assholes.
But the first movie didn't ignore the reason for the outbreak. They clearly explained that Patient Zero ate an infected sandwich which caused the outbreak in the first place. And do you really need an explanation for how these zombies evolved? It's a goddamn zombie movie, Jeremy. The Walking Dead still hasn't explained anything and people love the show. Up until Rick left. To be fair, those people are dummies though, because the show was ass the moment they killed Glenn.
In a world without YouTube, who wasn't entertained by a Homer?
I'm confident that one of the only existing institutions after a zombie apocalypse would be YouTube.
Believe me, CinemaSins fanboys, I'm aware that CinemaSins are attempting to tell a joke, but I'm failing to see the setup or punchline here. The insinuation is that YouTube would survive a zombie apocalypse because reasons, but the point of YouTube is that it requires you. The apocalypse bit kinda suggests that you dead. I know you're probably thinking I'm looking too deep into this, but that's the point. I didn't have to look deep into this line to know that it doesn't even make sense satirically.
Also, how has this one motherfucker survived 10 years in this universe if he has this little awareness? I know ninja zombies are fast, but this asshole walks in, barely looks around, and relaxes after no one responds to a hello? 10 years! 10 years!
This is the point of showing that zombies have evolved. This person might have survived against a normal zombie, but since the zombies have evolved, do you get it?
Why not go big and go home?
I get the appeal of the White House, and it makes a fun set piece, but the movie doesn't use it for any purpose other than to show us how funny it is for them to be dicking around the president's crib. And
Let me stop you right there, because you're going to attempt to gloss over a comedy film doing something because it's funny, which is entirely the point of a comedy movie, Jeremy.
if it were this easy to get into the White House, how is it not overrun right now by humans or zombies?
The channel that hides behind the erroneous notion that it is a comedic satirical channel takes a comedic satirical movie completely serious. Makes you kind of think that CinemaSins doesn't really know what satire actually is. Jeremy was that one kid that watched Wile E. Coyote and said aloud, "Hey, he shouldn't have survived that explosion."
A list of the most prominent film roles of Wesley Snipes includes neither Passenger 57 nor Money Train.
And that's probably because Major League, Mo Better Blues, New Jack City, White Men Can't Jump, Demolition Man, and Blade are all better movies than the ones you just listed. Or is the point that those movies sucked and you want to tarnish Wesley's legacy? That's racist.
Also, this creates a world where both Wesley Snipes and White Men Can't Jump exist, so therefore Woody Harrelson exists. So why isn't everyone asking Tallahassee if he's Woody Harrelson when they meet him? This is just as obtuse as Bill Murray not recognizing the guy that looked exactly like his co-star from Kingpin in the last movie.
But dude, you just asked for Money Train. Woody is in that movie too. I mean, if you're going to complain about things, at least try not to be hypocritical about it.
You remember what happened the last time you took the blindfold off?
I know I remember the last time I saw Emma Stone phone in a performance this hard, and I also remember it being Gangster Squad, coincidentally directed by the same dude as the one that did this movie.
I'm gonna go on ahead and remove a sin here. I absolutely adore Emma, but goddamn, she was like Melania Trump, only here to collect a paycheck.
but those days at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue may have been the best days of my life.
And yet we see relatively little of this entire sequence. This seems like they shot the White House scenes from whatever was left on the lot after they broke the West Wing set.
I don't understand this complaint. If they gave you too much of this sequence, you'd be all,
Movie has time for this.
and
Just get to the Zombieland.
stop pretending you want more of this sequence just so you can pad the runtime on this video by making lame West Wing jokes. West Wing?
Only Taft. He was our fattest president, so there's actually quite a lot left over.
Wow, just when I thought this movie couldn't fit in any more cliches, we've got a Taft was fat joke that stopped being funny around 1935.
Cliche? With the way the 2016 election went, you couldn't convince me that Americans even know who Taft was, let alone not confusing him with Laffy Taffy. Hold on, a movie poking fun at itself and the cliches of zombie media isn't worthy of a sin removal? Or are you just triggered by the fact that The Walking Dead is a comic book which reminds you the books f***ing matter?
This is supposed to be the Lincoln bedroom, and while I never personally have been there, I'm going to go ahead and say it has a bigger bed than a double.
Jeremy, it takes 2 seconds to Google this shit. This is an actual photo of the Lincoln bedroom. As you can see, the film is supremely accurate and you're once again talking out of your ass.
Also, someone please help me understand how anything has electricity. It was unbelievable in the first movie, but now tack on 10 extra years? F that yada-yadaing about the rain and the dams and that bull. This is damn bull.
You ask for an explanation, yet when you get one, you call it a yada yada. Hell, realistically, solar, wind, hydroelectric, and a bit of nuclear power could suffice without human interaction for potentially decades.
A clapper? Is he going to ask where the beef is later? Or maybe wrap himself up in a Snuggie? Between this, the Elvis impersonations, and Little Rock's inability to be happy until she finds a man, this movie is more dated than the 2009 original.
Imagine not getting the fact that this movie is dated on purpose. Also, are you suggesting that just because we're living in 2020, there aren't any women that are unhappy until they find a significant other? What about this article from Oceana Teffenhart, a feminist writer? I'm just saying, women are not a monolith, and just because you want to be all fake woke and stuff doesn't mean you speak for everyone. Besides, she realizes she doesn't want the guy at the end of the movie anyway.
I know this movie is trying to be hip by having Columbus wear the Dragon's Lair shirt, but that is a terrible, terrible game, and you better believe I'm sending the out of it. The Friday the 13th game for the NES had less frustrating gameplay.
25 sins for sinning Dragon's Lair. No, I'm not going to explain myself, just eat these sins.
You're telling me there's not one dead or mutilated body in this mall? Do all the dead bodies disappear like killable NPCs in a video game here?
This is pretty silly, considering what you're asking for is to see dead bodies everywhere. They don't show you near enough of this mall to conclude that there isn't one dead or mutilated body in this mall. This is simply a shot where there isn't a dead body. Jesus.
Like a junkie in search of a higher high, Tallahassee is no longer happy with Zombie Kill of the Week.
Which entails him watching this movie? Tallahassee's whole thing is avoiding other survivors, so where the hell does he hear about any of these stories?
First of all, this is a joke in a satirical film. Considering your fanboy's bullshit excuse for what CinemaSins is, it causes me physical pain to see you not get this concept, especially because I have to field questions from those same morons. And second, this is Zombieland. No, I'm not referring to the movie's title. I'm saying that the people in this universe treat this situation as a big game. Of course they'd share stories of their best kills.
Oh my god! Please forgive me! It's fake fur!
I don't know what's less believable, that Columbus missed hitting Madison at point-blank range, or that this is the first thing she says to a dude that just took a shot at her.
Jeremy is watching a science fiction fantasy comedy film where zombies exist, where the characters within that universe brag about the zombie kill of the week, and is still talking about believability. Madison as a character is making fun of the dumb blonde stereotype. Within the confines of a satire, it's not supposed to be believable.
Number 2 is Double Tap.
Double tap.
Double Tap? Yes.
Double tap. You.
You got me.
Clearly Madison is flirting hard with Columbus, and I have to ask, even after several years on your own, are you really going to get horned up over Jesse Eisenberg?
This is a play on the concept of if you were the last man on Earth. Besides, Jesse isn't bad looking and he's relatively young. Basically what I'm saying is, it's a zombie apocalypse, she wants the D, and a pretty healthy and normal guy came around. Do the math.
This is the Oval Office. Why do they call it that?
Why would Madison recognize this office instantly but have no clue why they call it that?
Because there are actual people in this world that A, don't know what an oval is, and B, are stupid.
I feel kind of guilty.
Because of Jesus? I know ways around that.
She's talking about butt sex, and while that's definitely not a sin, the fact that this is even brought up during this conversation is distractingly atrocious.
For fear of getting this video demonetized, sinning booty relations.
You have a beautiful voice.
Yeah, and I've just noticed that everyone in this movie is as hell. Like there are no objectively ugly people in Zombieland. What are the odds?
Slow your roll there, cowboy. This is a movie that features Thomas Middleditch. And by my estimation, there are only two bangable people in this movie, and that's Zoe Deutsch and Emma Stone, in that order. Or at the same time, you know, if I ever get rich and famous enough off these videos.
Berkeley told us about this new kind of zombie that's stronger and faster.
If it had two other things, it would be remixed by Kanye.
What in the butt?
How did they not think Madison was coming? I swear to God, there's more manufactured tension in this movie than a season finale of This Is Us.
Stop manipulating scenes. Columbus states that they can't just leave her there alone, insinuating that he informed her they were leaving but didn't tell Tallahassee.
Are we dropping her off at a no-kill animal shelter or something?
Come on, she's a human being, all right? All right, we're not gonna, leave her here alone.
Yeah, we can't just leave Columbus's girlfriend.
Okay.
As I checked, it's supposed to cripple us.
I know this is kind of the point, but the fact that this character graduated from the Ariana Grande School of Diction will never not be annoying as hell.
I know the guy who slurs his words all the goddamn time isn't trying to make fun of someone's diction. I mean, you just slurred Ariana Grande's name in this sin.
It did belong to the first lady.
Well, I think it was given to the First Lady, but she heartlessly rejected it.
I give up. Is there anyone I can root for in this movie? Like, I'm seriously thinking about switching allegiances to the zombies.
Madison, because she's the best character in the film. And no, I'm not just saying that because I have this extremely unhealthy obsession with Zoe Deutsch. Even though I told her to call me in my review for this movie and she didn't, I understand she's busy, but you can't call a nigga back. She's one of the 10 people I follow on Twitter. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad. But since it's 100,000 of y'all, you could do me a favor and share this video with her and let her know that I'm in love with her. You're not going to do that? All right, moving on.
This is what I'm talking about.
Why is he even talking about anything? They're coming up on a fully functional abandoned RV that they haven't cleared yet. What about this character has ever foretold that he would approach a hazardous situation as cavalierly as this?
Totally not because Zoe is in this frame. I'm going to be really nitpicky here and point out that the word cavalier is already an adjective, so the use of cavalierly is as redundant as ATM machine.
115! I feel like 60% of this movie is unnecessary bullet wasting, 30% arguing about relationships, and 80% stammering over misunderstandings.
Hey, that's almost 1, 2, carry the 14. The hypotenuse is 45 degrees. 171%.
They were the apex predator. Top of the food chain.
Well, except for the sentient humans that have actual, actionable intelligence and a ton of firepower, right? This is like saying bears are at the top of the food chain because they're big and scary, but we still kill those motherfuckers, right? I saw The Revenant.
Apparently, you don't know what a food chain is because in order to be on top of a food chain, you actually have to eat the things that are below you on that chain. As humans don't eat zombies, these zombies are factually the top of the food chain. Your example is poor considering animals below other animals on the food chain kill their predators all the time. Ever seen a hippo take out a crocodile?
Sound like those are Elvis's actual shoes.
Did the sign maker know this moment would pay off down the road?
No, they thought they were making a sign for the display of Elvis's actual shoes.
You know how close I came to murraying you? You know, when you shoot someone because you think they're a zombie? Apparently that's how Bill Murray died.
How is it possible that news of Bill Murray being killed would become well known enough to create its own expression? There might be electricity, but we've seen no instance of internet or phones being used.
Wait, what was that?
But we've seen no instance of internet.
One more time.
No instance of.
No instance?
No instance. No instance. No instance. No instance.
Yeah, this guy has a pretty far out there speech impediment. You might want to check that out. Right? The CinemaSins guy sounds ridiculous.
Suddenly feel a little jealous of Robin Rogers.
Look, I'm not saying Nevada would never be interested in Tallahassee, but he's 18 years older than her, and I'm just about hitting my limit of the gorgeous women in this franchise displaying immediate stiff lady boners for any Tom, Dick, or Woody that drifts through their area.
First of all, as demonstrated by the appearance of Albuquerque, Nevada clearly has a type. Second, how the hell would she know his age? Third, Jeremy says boner.
I think you double parked. Or more perpendicular parked. Hope we don't get a ticket.
What is going on here?
Ooh, I know. An extremely lame attempt to shoehorn some talented comic actors into a very unfunny situation to act exactly like the established protagonists, just so that we can have that zing moment for the trailer.
Jeremy points out things on the screen cliche.
You know what else is no bueno? You murdered the beast.
Yeah, what's up with that? I know we're in a dick swinging contest and all, but Albuquerque took out an extremely effective zombie killing automobile for no reason. Do these assholes want to survive anymore?
It wasn't for no reason. Albuquerque clearly specified his reason for running over the beast. Someone was parked in his spot. Might be a flimsy reason, but it's still a reason. And I don't know about you, but when someone parks in my spot, I tend to lose my shit too.
Those are T800s, or at the very least T700s.
There actually was no T700.
Yeah, T800's the first model.
Sure, there were no T700s, but any true Terminator nerd would know that the T1 was in fact the first model and not the T800.
Correction. Any true Terminator nerd completely ignores the travesty that was Terminator 3. Besides, it's clear they're referring to the cybernetic organism Terminators, and the T1 isn't even canon anymore.
Time to nut up or shut up. That thing's very 2009.
This laugh.
So if they were just going to turn them into zombies less than 10 minutes after they were introduced, then what was the point?
Comedy.
You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me.
I mean, the movie's sinning itself now. It's like a human, but without brains. It's some sort of approximation of a movie, but it can't function completely as a movie. Having trouble coming up with a perfect comparison, but you know what I mean, right?
No, we don't.
Stupid nut allergy.
Nut allergy.
Yeah.
That's so stupid. She had sex with Columbus earlier, so clearly Madison doesn't have a nut allergy.
Jeremy makes a cringe sexual reference that is not a sin of the movie cliche.
I'm late for my drum circle, so.
Madison is a dingbat, Tallahassee is a redneck with a temper, Columbus is a nerd with a bunch of rules, Wichita is a distant, manic, pixie dream girl, and now Little Rock is a hippie that's all about drum circles. Have we left any white stereotypes out?
You forgot vegan, but how is Wichita the manic pixie dream girl? She's clearly a tomboy and is in no way eccentric. If you want an example of a manic pixie dream girl, watch Lucy Liu in the film Watching the Detectives. You will fall in love with her, if you aren't already.
I will never forget you. What's his name?
See you, pals.
It's Tallahassee, I told you that.
Sally Tally!
This character is literally too stupid to be in a bad SNL sketch.
CinemaSins still hasn't gotten that this is the point.
Then we hit the stragglers. What we do is we form a gauntlet.
Just FYI, the end of this movie is the silliest parts of Home Alone 2 and Robin Hood Prince of Thieves combined.
Jeremy makes a pop culture... You know the rest.
There are things that are happening to injure and kill, yet the zombies are undeterred. But our heroes battle on, and stuff. But between the darkness and the supercut editing, me if I can see any of it.
Dude, you can't send a movie for you needing glasses. How the hell is any of this too dark or difficult to see?
Nevada Ex Machina.
This is not an Ex Machina. Congratulations, CinemaSins. You done turned Birdman into a zombie. Although, this presents a good opportunity to get rid of Stan.
What's his name? You're so tiny. No, you're not. No, you are. No, you're not. No, you are.
2 hours later.
Tiny, big, tiny.
She is adorable.
This thing called love, I just can't handle it. This thing called love.